Hi, I'm Keith Dowdle. I'm with Cycle News Magazine, and we are here in Death Valley, of all places, for the launch of the brand new Alpinestars Tech Air Off-Road. And I'm here with Dom Kwong. Dom is in charge of all of the airbag systems for Alpinestars. So Dom is in charge of everything from just the one-piece vest to MotoGP suits to the new product that we're talking about here today. So Dom, what are we talking about here today? What do we have new from Alpinestars?
Well, we have, for the first time, our offering of the Tech Air Off-Road system. So it's the first system that gives you airbag protection for those that want to ride enduro, street, or rally. We've taken our technology that we've been developing over the last 6 years at Dakar, and we're now offering to the public for the first time.
And it's nice you mentioned Dakar because they brought Skylar Howes here. Ricky Brabeck is here. We got to ride with Skylar Howes today. Those guys are required as part of the rules to wear an airbag system. So they told us a little bit about what it's like to wear this in competition. And now Alpinestars has offered this, or is going to be offering this, to the public. And ADV, the adventure riding segment, has gotten to be so big that this is a fantastic piece of kit now for someone who is an avid ADV rider. And the technology here is such that it protects you on all areas, basically the entire upper torso, right?
Absolutely. So what we have here on the Tech Air Off-Road, just showing the front right now, we have our level 1, CE level 1 protection on both on the shoulders and the elbow. We have a full chest level 2. And if I turn this around, our back protector is a CE level 1 back protector. So this is the passive protection that it comes included on every single Tech Air Off-Road. The airbag protection, as you mentioned before, it protects the full back. It gives you protection both on the collarbone, the shoulders, and the chest. There's also an additional feature. There's a small neck roll along the neckline so that it prevents your head 30 degrees side to side and 40 degrees aft. So it's like having that special neck protector that most people wear. So one thing I want to let all of our customers know, and yourself as well, is that when you wear a Tech Air Off-Road, it's not compatible with the
lead brace and those kinds of things.
That's correct. Okay. So basically what you see is what you get. Right. All you have to do is just wear this with your jacket over top.
And you think about, so retail price on this is going to be $999. So you're talking right at $1,000. But you think about breaking your collarbone or fracturing a rib or, God forbid, breaking your neck, and what the price of that, both in a recovery standpoint, financial standpoint, and it could save your life. And I can tell you, I think for me personally, I definitely am going to wear one of these now from now on.
Excellent.
When I go off-road riding, because of all the things that can happen. Skylar Howes was showing us a video of a crash that he had in Dakar and how it worked and it helped him, and the cool thing about this new kit is it can be deployed twice. So you could be out riding, you could have a crash, fall off, the thing deploys, it blows up, it goes back down, you take off riding again, and you can have a second deployment on the same ride, and you're still going to get the same level of protection.
Absolutely. That's one of the key mandates that we had for developing the off-road. We know that our customers that use the off-road system, they're going to go on multi-day trips, right? And of course, they need as much protection as possible. And yes, there's going to be small tips and falls. There might be some bigger tips and falls. So you're going to be protected at all times. So as you mentioned before, we have 2 deployments. So you're always protected at least twice. So after both canisters deploy, we allow our customers to actually replace their canisters themselves.
Which I was going to talk about next, because I did a review of the Tech Air 5 a few years ago, and that one you had to send back to Alpinestars to have everything kind of revamped and redone. Whereas this one, a customer theoretically could be carrying extra cartridges and replace the cartridges themselves. You don't have to send it back and have a professional take care of it for you.
That's
but
right.
you do need to have a professional take care of it after, what is it, 4 deployments? After 4 deployments, you want to send it back to Alpinestars and let them refresh the system, make sure it's all okay still?
That's right. That's right. So the airbag bladder itself can survive more than 4 deployments. But after 4 deployments, what we want you to do is you should take it to a service center. You know, our service technician will basically go through the entire product, make sure that the canisters are replaced, make sure the airbag is still intact, and we do a once over, and we check the entire garment. We make sure that there's no hidden cracks or any kind of rips on the product itself. So after service, you're pretty much getting a brand new product, because we will go through it tip to toe on everything. So yeah, we recommend that customers after 4 deployments, absolutely go get your product serviced by a Tech Air Service Center. That's
great. So we wore these all day today. We're going to wear them again tomorrow. I'll tell you, one of the features that I like about it as well, you know how it is when you ride off-road, big adventure bikes, you're sweaty, you get nasty. Obviously, this is going to absorb sweat. It's going to absorb the smell, although it does have the stuff, the kind of the material. It doesn't, antibacterial material.
Yeah.
But you can take this thing all apart so that you can wash the garment itself, which is a really nice feature. And then you're fresh again, but you still have the great protection of the airbag system.
Absolutely. I mean, it's when you're riding off-road, like you said, you're in very hot climates. At the same time, the environment, you're going to kick up a lot of dust, right?
True too, right?
And especially, you know, if you, like today, we had rain.
Right.
So there was a lot of mud being kicked up and whatnot. So the great thing about the system, as you mentioned, the electronics can be disassembled from the system quite easily. We actually have the electronics mounted into a tray, and with a quick snap, the whole thing comes out, included with the bladder of the airbag as well, so that you can give it a rinse and a surface wipe to clean it.
It's very user friendly. Another thing that we should talk about, Dom, is so there are 3 different levels here of, I guess, different algorithms.
Right.
So there's a street algorithm, there's an enduro algorithm, and then there's a rally algorithm. And those are set up, basically, you were saying earlier, on speed, right? Is that kind of the...
Yeah. So just going through our different algorithms. So our street algorithm, for example, it's the same street algorithm we've been using for many years now.
Okay.
It's the same algorithm that you find on the Tech Air 5, the Tech Air 3. This has been tried and true. We've tested it. There's hundreds of thousands of miles that we've tested this. So you're getting the advantage of the street algorithm. One thing about the street algorithm, you can do light off-road with that same street algorithm. So for example, if you're riding on a fire road, no problem. Keep it in street mode, you're good to go. Now, I'm gonna jump to the rally mode. So the rally mode is the same algorithm that Skylar Howes uses for the Dakar. Same one. There is no difference in that algorithm whatsoever. So that one gives you, it's meant for like high-speed off-road riding. Okay. Now, enduro. Enduro, for those basically, if you're riding out in the bush, it's a very technical circuit. You're dealing with, say, a range between 5 miles to 50 miles, right? That's probably the best mode to be in, because it will understand the dynamics of an enduro ride.
5 miles an hour to 50 miles an hour.
Correct.
You're talking speed again.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's usually our threshold. So if you go above that, then we suggest that you use the rally mode instead.
And the algorithms are such that you could have just a minor fall off, kind of a stop and flop scenario, and the bag will not deploy. I mean, it's so sophisticated that it understands. They were telling us in the technical debrief that, like, everybody has seen the MotoGP guys when their airbags deploy when they high side or something like that. I did not realize, I'm an avid MotoGP fan, but I did not realize that the system actually starts to initiate from the moment the rider gets tossed from the bike. So it's not waiting for you to hit the ground. It is so sophisticated, it knows you're about to hit the ground and deploys prior to the impact.
Yeah, not only that, just it will actually deploy before you even get launched off the bike. So it will see the dynamics of the motorcycle, and it will measure the movement of your body, and again, we're measuring or monitoring data at 1,000 times per second.
Milliseconds.
Millisecond speed, right? So
yeah.
at that rate, we see everything that's going on and we react as quickly as possible. So a full deployment, so for example, on the Tech Air Off-Road, a full deployment is under 40 milliseconds.
God, that's crazy.
Right? So it's 8 times faster than you can blink. Again, it will recognize the situation that you're in. If it deems that it's a dangerous situation where it needs to fire the airbag, it will do that very, very quickly.
And talking about those deployments, Alpinestars is the leader when it comes to personal protective gear with the airbag systems due to MotoGP, the fact you guys have been in the business for so long. So the sophistication, no other company has the kind of sophistication that Alpinestars has because of all the deployments and all the data that they have over years and years of testing these things both in a race environment, and they've also been available to the public now for several years.
Absolutely.
Not this one, of course, but some of the other
other
models.
I'm glad you brought up that point. I mean, our company's born from racing. And so we collect a lot of data first before we start developing the very first systems, because the data helps us understand the dynamics and the requirements from our users, from our riders, what they want as far as protection is concerned when they get into a situation where they need the highest level of protection. So we have been doing this for 20 years, collecting information, building the right products. We have, as you mentioned before, we have a collection of products that meets every type of riding that anyone wants to do, right? So whether
even a cruiser, when they make one that like a Harley kind of guy would want, would fit in.
Yeah, exactly. That's our next Tech Air 3 variant,
right?
Which is our leather and canvas.